All right, everybody, here we go. Coming to you live from the Reality Rally. Look who we're here with. Everybody's got their mics on. I want to make sure we don't screw this up. Everybody's switched on because we have maybe this could be the biggest interview we've ever done here. We're here not only maybe with the greatest collection of Survivor minds ever assembled here, the think tank. I'm here with the original winner of Survivor, Richard Hatch, and the winner of Survivor One World, Kim Spradlin, at the same time.
Ding!
Yeah.
Ding!
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Well.
Kim?
Yeah.
You know, last night was a long night, but we're doing well.
Yeah. Well, this is a big thrill for me to talk to you guys, not only separately but together at once. Is this I gotta think this is the first ever recorded conversation between you guys.
I think so.
Absolutely.
And it's our pleasure.
Yeah.
Especially when you talk about introducing us as the Survivor Minds.
Yes.
Because, hey, that's what I've been pushing for a long time, that CBS ought to put people on a season that understand the fucking game. You know?
I would love to. Thank
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes.
Yeah,
You know?
that would be great.
People who understand how to play it, who get the strategy.
Yeah.
Come on, Rob, you'd go back.
Sure, why not? Now, we hear so much this season about the BR rules. Where the Boston Rob rules of how to play.
Where do we hear it from? That lunatic that's wandering around here somewhere. You've got to be kidding me.
You're gonna get us in trouble, Rich. Where is the person saying, "Hey, I'm going to play with the RH rules. I'm going to play with the KS rules"? Where are these people?
There are very, very, very few of them bright enough to understand how we played. Come on, Kim. Tell
now,
them.
Kim, you
I
kind
don't know
of
what to say.
your archetype is sort of your game plan is not undifferent from the RH rules.
She was brilliant. She was a strategist. She watched what was going on. She was no idiot running around all emotional and telling everybody everything. She thought about what she needed to do to get to the end and did it.
Yeah.
Period.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
thanks.
And I'm joking around a little bit because I feel like the Boston Rob is getting credit for something that, you know, the BR rules, as Philip said, are, you know, make an alliance, an alliance within the alliance, and then get rid of your alliance. Now, in fairness, shouldn't you get credit for that? Didn't you invent that?
You would
Yes,
think
he
so.
should.
Yeah, look, come on, Philip, though. Look who it's coming from.
And didn't you do that just as good as anybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a hard time.
did.
I have a hard time saying that. But yes, no, that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah. Kim's very modest.
Yeah, she is. And having a
And
hard
quiet.
time.
And so is Richard. Richard's very modest too.
Yes, thank you so much for saying that about us.
All right, well, you know, let's talk about this last episode that was just on. This is probably the best episode of the new season, and Corinne ends up being the one to go home. I mean, what did you make of what happened with Corinne and what she was trying to do?
Well, I think Corinne was playing. She was attempting to play, you know, and that's good. But she's on a season, unfortunately, with, you know, where the psychiatrist ought to rule the island. It's not exactly about Survivor.
Yeah.
I mean, starting with Brandon, what the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just craziness. And if that's what they're doing to kind of draw viewership is let's see, who's the kookiest? Let's bring them back.
Yeah.
Then, you know, they've done really, really well. But there are a lot. There are a good number, I think, of strategic players left, and we'll see what they do. You know, Malcolm, he's playing.
No, I really enjoyed this last episode. It was one of my favorites I've seen in years, honestly, like even counting my season. And I think I watched Corinne, you know, I loved what she was doing. It was going to work. It was like, yes. And then she went and told Dawn, and we all knew Dawn was loyal to Philip, you know, because of the Julia thing. So that was a bummer. But
the way that the AllStars are playing this season, do you feel like a lot of the AllStars have been to this point sitting back and not wanting to make moves? And do you think that happens a lot when they bring back the AllStars? Because I feel like in the original Survivor AllStars, I think one of the reasons why Boston Rob did so well was that everybody played very passively, and everybody was very afraid to make moves because, hey, I just want to get far. I don't want to screw up my position. Do you think that we've seen that with the favorites this season, where they're afraid to make big moves, and then ultimately Corinne tried to get something going, and then ultimately everybody wanted to stand pat?
Totally think that's what's going on, and I think it's like people think there's a recipe. You know, you go back and then you sit back and watch what we were just saying, but sometimes people are looking for a leader, and you have to just be willing to like mold and fit whatever situation.
Adaptability. You have to be watching and ready to be flexible at any moment. You can't go in knowing exactly what you're going to do and just keep doing that. That's a recipe for failure. And most of the people that play the game are one note. They just I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. It doesn't work. And so I agree with you. I think that's what's happening now.
All right. So now, if you put yourself in the position of the returning players, the Cochran and Dawn and in that spot, what do you guys think is the next move for them? Now they got rid of Corinne. Do you think that do they start going after the other fans, or do you want to take out people like a Malcolm who could potentially get people together to do something?
Well, there are probably any number of pathways somebody could take, but it's always smart to get rid of your competition. And if you're sitting there and you recognize that somebody is bright and capable, then without announcing it to the world, they ought to always be on your main target list. So, Cochran's got to get rid of Malcolm, period, if he wants any.
No, I agree with that. I think, you could go after Reynolds, who is also like a strong, bright player, but I think the risk with Malcolm is that he could definitely get something going with the other people. So
now, how important for you guys is it to go to the end with somebody that you can beat? Because we've seen so much this season, people like, I want to go to the end with Phillip from the very beginning, because I think I can beat Phillip at the end. I saw Boston Rob beat Phillip, and I want to do that. I want to go to the end against Phillip. Now, Kim, you didn't seem to care too much about, and I remember during your season, I'm like, oh, she could go to the end with Christina, she could go to the end with Alicia, and she doesn't want to do that. And at the end of the day, it didn't matter. You could have gone to the end with anybody.
That could have been horrible, but I do think, my mentality is if you play really, really well and you play your best game, you really can go with whomever if you're brilliant.
Yeah.
People will respect
and Rich, for you, it was almost like you were able to play into that I think that people want to bring me to the end.
They had to.
Yeah.
Both of them at the end had no choice.
You were the first Phillip then.
Well, no. Where the hell do I go with that? But no. No, I wasn't delusional, and I wasn't wrong when I talked about they had to. I took my hand off the pole and told them, you both have to take me. You don't have a choice. And they didn't. I was just lucky really to be in that position. It took me a while on the pole to think that through. But I agree, it's nice to go against somebody who played okay and you're respected as the better player. I wouldn't bet $1 million on it. So if I had the chance and the opportunity, I would take whoever I knew I was going to beat. I would take Phillip if I could stand another minute on the island with the lunatic. Probably couldn't, but I would try.
Well, and I played that same card. I had convinced people, and they didn't show this a lot, that they should take me, that people were angry at me. It was the same situation, just in a different way. So,
yeah. See, I would love to hear you guys just interview each other.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I have no idea what to ask you.
That's fine. So, who are you guys rooting for on this season? Do you guys have a favorite that you are?
I never do. I always keep watching for who plays well, and people talk about who deserves the win. Oh, they didn't deserve this, and whoever wins deserves the win. That's what the game's about. That crazy Russell, they didn't deserve it. Oh, I did. I'm the player. That's nuts. He doesn't even know what Survivor is, and so I'm not behind anybody in particular, but I love how Malcolm plays under the. He's playing so hard, and he's generous to us viewers. He talks to us about what he's doing. I love that somebody understands that when you're there and being interviewed, you can tell the cameras what's going on. I like that.
And what about you, Kim?
I like Malcolm. I like
Everyone
Corinne.
likes Malcolm.
I like Cochran.
Yeah.
I have a handful of people that I'd be really excited to see go far and do well. So.
Okay.
I like Cochran too. He's really got a great wit and he's again sharing with the audience. I like that. So he's aware of what's going on. He plays well, and he's an underdog because he's always so self-deprecating. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's burned to a crisp, and
Were you impressed the other night, Rich, with the larvae swallowing abilities of Cochran? Going back to the first season when you guys were there. Now, how did you deal with that?
I recognized those animals.
Yes.
Yum, yum.
I don't remember. I remember Jervis. I remember Stacy from that scene. How did you do with that?
Oh, it was something to eat. I didn't care.
You don't care?
No, it was fine. It wasn't great. I remember thinking, "Ooh, wait, this is I'm a little more queasy than I thought I'd be." But I didn't. It's $1 million. Who gives a shit? Be queasy, throw up later, whatever you need to do. Just suck this darn green, gushy thing down and get on with it.
Yeah. And Kim, how would you have done with that?
Absolutely horribly.
Yeah.
That is my worst nightmare.
You found Kim's weakness, finally.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I almost gagged and threw up sitting on my sofa watching this week. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're moving and wiggling and popping green in your mouth. It's not pretty.
So let's talk a little bit about the fans and what they've done. Is there any hope, do you think, for them? Is it truly hopeless for what the fans were able to do? And is that because they're up against such good competition, or is that because any other reason?
Yeah, obviously they're not hopeless, but it definitely appears that way to me. I cannot imagine how they, particularly being two strong guys. I think if it was like, a passive female, they might have she might have a shot at jumping in, but I just think who they are, they're going to get targeted pretty quickly.
Just kind of, yay, let's play,
Yeah.
thrilled and doing it, and not horribly. It's not like but they're, right from the get-go, it was stupid of them to set themselves aside as these pretty people thing off in the water, and that was kind of wrong. They should have known that they were going to be perceived as fit and young and already kind of potentially targeted. So the subtlety of their gameplay, I think, is a little bit lacking. That's because they're fans and they've never played, and they're against people who've seen this done, even if they are daft at doing it themselves.
Do you think a fans versus favorite season is even fair to do?
Anything's fair. Fans think it's fair. They wanted to be on it. They love playing against people who've already played before. So sure, it's fair.
And I think it depends on the fans. Like and even again, I think I was almost surprised at the fans. I was expecting like real,
players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They're not.
I was gonna say not that they're not, but
They're not.
All right, so let's talk about a.
I'll meet them later.
Yeah, sure. Well,
I'm gonna
sure,
hide
they're
behind
all
you
lovely
because
people.
I don't usually say things like that.
So let's talk about a fantasy situation. Okay, let's imagine, and not that kind of fantasy,
We'd love
Rich.
to.
So let's imagine we're out somewhere on some future island. Let's call it Samoa, and Richard Hatch and Kim Spradlin are on a tribe together. Could you guys have a workable relationship? And of course, you're not going to say.
Well, whether we could or not, you think we're going to sit here and say that now? You have no idea what the next season is or the one after that. Come now, Rob. Come.
But yes.
But yes. Yeah.
For real.
Is there room?
Yes.
Is there room in one tribe for two masterminds?
There's room on an entire game for true masterminds. I think that would be brilliant, and I think it would be incredibly watchable.
Yeah.
I think people would really be drawn to Survivor again in a way that ramps it up like it hasn't been ramped up in a while.
Yeah. And something else that you guys have in common, and then I think that is something that really is overlooked on Survivor. I think you need to have, especially if you go back the last couple seasons, I think you need to have one person that you trust completely.
I agree with that.
And you both had that.
Hard to do.
And you with Rudy and you with Chelsea. But I think that if you go back and take a look at all of the people who have been very successful, for the most part, there's been exceptions, but they always seem to have one person that they're lying to everybody else, but they have one person who is their, right-hand person most of the way through.
Yeah, it keeps you grounded. It's like,
it keeps you grounded.
Normalcy.
And here's the deal. You need somebody who can play well to get down the road. And somebody who understands the game recognizes that there will come a point when you're on your own, whether it's the final two or the final three, whatever it is that you need to do to kind of, make your own moves and go to the end. But before that, you really need, I think, a competent player who understands what they're doing and can commit to doing it with you, whatever that takes. Not listening to the rest of the dribble, understanding why you might be trying to be perceived a different way by other people. Just all the dynamics that you very well understand about this game, Mr. Cesternino.
But unlike you guys, I never had a person that wanted to be in the twosome with me. I looked for the partner, but I just had people that was like either didn't trust me or for whatever reason thought they could do better on their own, rather than I never had my Chelsea or my Rudy, or like Malcolm and Denise last season, or Sophie and Albert had that. And so do you think that Dawn and Cochran could have that kind of relationship this season?
I do. I think they do. I mean, I feel like I think that's happening. I feel like I'm seeing that.
I think it's
They're
happening
not playing
too.
it up, but
I worry about Dawn's
yes.
stability, and I think stability is the thing I was talking about that's so important. But
if one of the people has it,
Yeah.
it can work because
Okay,
the other
but
person can keep bringing
What
the
about
other person back.
Philip and Andrea? Could that be a twosome?
Philip and anything. Come on, why are we even talking? The man, does he even know where he is? I swear to God, I'm not sure.
Are you trolling Philip right now?
I don't know what that means.
Trolling him?
Are you trying to antagonize Philip?
Do I care? Do I need to? Is he listening?
Who would you rather play?
Phillip.
Who would you rather play with, Richard? Philip or Russell Hantz?
Oh, dear God. What a waste of time, right? No matter which one you pick. I mean, seriously, I'd rather play Survivor.
Yeah.
I'd rather play with Philip.
Yes.
Philip than Russell? Neither one really has any idea what's
Unless
going
Russell's
on.
listening, and then Russell, I'd rather play with you.
Probably. All right. Well, are you guys ready for the reality rally today?
Born ready.
Born ready.
Hell yes.
Okay. Well, it's going to be very exciting. This was a real pleasure to talk to
It's fun.
both of you guys today.
Our pleasure, Rob.
Yeah, it was,
Pleasure is
it was fun for me. I hope it was fun for everybody, and all the best to you both.
We love your podcast. Keep it
Yes.
up. Keep
Yeah.
it up.
All right.
Coming to you live
Thank you.
from Reality Rally.
All right.
Thanks, Rob.
Let me watch you guys interview each other. Okay, what else?